Hi, that was horrible. Let's do it again. Hi there, my name's Terence von Higginbottom. I play the character of Az on the YouTube channel HeelvsBabyface, and I want to invite you into my home, into my life, and show you the true me and what really goes on around here. And I think you'll find it's a pretty crazy ride. I'm just the biggest fan of video gaming, and my favourite is this, which was approved by my publicist as being accessible to the market which I want to target, and also have enough political ideology in to cause conversation amongst like-minded people. Of course, it can't all be fun and games here, and that's why I'd really like to use my platform to discuss with you politically approved candidate for 2020. The one that won't get me cancelled and might actually garnish me some favour with my peers when it comes to getting jobs. Fingers crossed, hey? But none of this, of course, means anything unless you have family to share it with. And I'm going to be talking to you today about how hard it is being a single parent in 2020 with only a budget of several $1 million a year. I know. So without further ado, let's get to it. Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Was it just a meagre 3 weeks ago? Apparently, feels like a lifetime, that the wonderful and talented, I know, I'm sorry, BRIE Larson graced our presence here on YouTube in what can only be described as a major marketing event. Somehow she managed to just appear one day after a quick sneak preview tweet saying that she was joining YouTube. There were articles in every magazine saying that BRIE has arrived upon YouTube. And her first video was a horribly contrived, fake, phony piece of trash. And that was the real disappointing aspect, because clearly BRIE has come onto YouTube to try and build her reputation, build her image, try and get rid of that snarky, horrible, cold image that she's built up over the course of the last couple of years or so. However, it doesn't work when you come across as phony, disingenuous, fake, that you have a crew of people sorting out cameras for you, where you pretend that you can't turn on a microphone when everything's been sorted. It just makes you look like a fool. Because it says that you are trying to make your audience believe that this is real. In other words, you're patronizing and you're thinking that your audience is thick, which means that you have a complete non-understanding of the platform that you're on, which is YouTube. Because people know how YouTube operates and they know manufactured channels, and I'm not saying that there's anything particularly wrong with manufactured channels. Some work very, very well indeed. And then, of course, there's the channels, though, that do more when I say realistic, more IRL, you know, there's no airs and graces and stuff like that. And if that's the image that you want to project, then creating a fake and phony persona isn't going to cut it. Most people, I think, went and watched her video as a bit of a freak show, as a bit of a carnival, as a bit of a car crash. Couldn't take your eyes off it, to see what BRIE was actually going to bring to YouTube. And the announcement video, where she's with a plethora of approved YouTubers, obviously, all coming from diverse backgrounds, obviously, showed exactly what BRIE was about. And what she's about is being false, being fake, being politically correct, or at least seemingly politically correct. She was asking people what type of video she would make. Clearly, that's going to be up to her publishing team. as the second video that came out happened to be an Animal Crossing Island video, which went on for 17.5 minutes. Not in my life, it went on for about 6 minutes. That's all I could tolerate. It was one of the most boring things I've ever watched in my life, which is saying something. And it was tagged along with a Q&A. Such a mundane, vanilla Q&A that nobody could be interested in whatsoever. Questions like, which do you prefer, onion rings or French fries? So to me, when you have this sort of level of falsehood, when you have this sort of level of inane, are you trying to attract a young audience? Is that the type of audience that you're trying to attract? An audience, and I say this with respect, that hasn't yet got the mental acumen to understand the difference between contrived, staged, and reality. People who think French fries or onion rings are the questions which need to be answered instead of insights into BRIE's life. So her channel isn't going to be that. It's not going to be a look into her true self. It's going to be a look into the approved self. Which brings us on to the third video. And before I go into the third video, I just want to go through the viewing figures. 3 weeks ago, her introductory video brought in nearly 1.9 million views. Very good indeed. Not bad at all for a debut. Coming now, just around the corner of 2 million. It will eventually probably get to 2 million. However, the second video, the very next video, jumps right down to 519,000. So that's just over a quarter of the first video. Now, this is very telling indeed, because it first of all, the people that just came to see the freak show of the first video, then they were never interested in watching anything else. They were just coming there for the lols, etc. Also, when you saw how contrived and fake and phony that was put together, I think it would have put another proportion of an audience off. A proportion who thought that she was actually going to make some sort of genuine attempt to, I don't know, allow us in to what it's like as a Hollywood actress, to maybe put down the exterior that she's put up and see the real Brie. No, you were going to get this, as I said, contrived version of her. So they would probably check out as well. So you've got people who are probably just interested in Animal Crossing, that were young, and maybe watched Captain Marvel. I'm not exactly sure. But when you're down by 70-odd%, that's it's quite a lot. It's quite a lot indeed. But the third video, now this is the interesting one, because the third video, let me just backtrack slightly. In the first video, when Brie is discussing what she wants to do with the channel, she said that she was going to have non-racist rhetoric. Now, as I've said, I don't know many channels. I can't name one off the top of my head that has any sort of racist rhetoric in their YouTube channel. I think YouTube would be pretty stern on a channel like that. And so we get this conversational video. And the title is A Very Important Conversation with Justina Omakua. Excuse my pronunciation. It's not racism. It's just I'm not used to pronouncing that name. That's another thing people have to understand, pronunciation. And so on Friday Night Tights, gone past, we watched some of this video. We watched about, I'm going to say 8 to 12 minutes, maybe, of this 17.5-minute video. And for the first 8 odd minutes, we couldn't understand what on earth was being said. There was just a big load of nothing. You had BRIE talking about her new bestie, a very patronising and very almost infantilistic, is that such a word? If there isn't, it should be now, ideal of this person that she'd brought onto her channel, Justina, as if she was the flavour of the month character to be paraded out, because this is what these type of people do. They're not about equality whatsoever. They're about parading and virtue signalling. And so we have this 17.5-minute virtue signal where she has this woman on the channel and we don't know what on earth they're talking about. We know it's got something to do with race, but they are saying meaningless lines which don't interconnect, which don't form a picture, which don't make any sense whatsoever, and the video comes across as farcical. Absolutely farcical. Now, one of my colleagues on Friday Night Tights, I can't remember exactly which one it was. I think it was either Gary or maybe Lady Gravesmaster. But they were saying this video is kind of allowing BRIE a bit of a get out of jail card in case she makes any sort of mistakes, shall we say, in that department, that she can rely on this video to say, hey, I'm an ally of, and I'm trying so hard. But look, I'm already bored with that sort of stuff. So how many views did this video get? Let me just vanish myself, if I can get my cursor across. 70,000. 70 bloody thousand. We've gone from 1.9 million to 519k to 70k. And people like Nerdrotic, people like, I know Geeks and Gamers recently have as well. Critical Drinker will get hundreds of thousands of views. Mauler, when he puts a video 100. She's already down on video 3 to 70k. And this is what happens when you put out a contrived channel. This is what happens when you put out things which you think are going to speak to an audience that only you kind of adhere to. Because you are so consumed in your bubble, you allow your... Because, let's just be honest, her publicist will be doing the vast majority of the decision-making process when it comes to this channel. So what's being approved for content will always be what is flavour of the month to be discussed. That's pretty much it when it comes to BRIE. This is going to be one of the most vacuous, probably laughed at channels on the internet, and to be perfectly honest with you, she will deserve everything that she gets. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and YouTube for live streaming. Links are in the description box down below, and I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.